should be able to do 8 colors in 4 days. That would be 2 colors a day. I think that is going to be my goal. So let's see. You hold me accountable. Let's see if next week when I come back, I have completed August and can move into September's colors. Hello, my name is Michelle and this is Michelle's Fiber Studio podcast. Today is Wednesday, October 8th, and this is episode number 65. Welcome, welcome. We've had a little bit more weather whiplash. Yesterday and the day before it was 80 degrees. Today it is 60 degrees and rainy. 2 nights ago it was 60 to 63 degrees overnight. Or actually, I think even last night it was still 63 overnight. And tonight we have a freeze warning. So the weather continues to delight us. I don't know, that's not even probably true, but it continues to be a thing. How's that? I have actually a fair amount to talk about today. I have updates on my projects. I have 2 brand new projects that I have started. I have some new things on my yarn shelf. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. So this week in my project bag, let's start with my older projects first, and then I will talk about my new projects. So first, I think I will bring out my Northeasterly blanket. I have been slowly working through, I'm up to August, I think it's August colors. So last week, I had just finished the really bright neon yellow. So I got 3 colors done this week. I did this green here, I did a pink, and then I just finished a purple, not last night, but the night before. So we are continuing to work through on that one. That is where that is. I got my last set of colors in the mail yesterday or the day before, so I now have all of the yarn. I just gotta get it all worked up and into my project, into my blanket. I have a long weekend. I have school tomorrow, but then Friday is it's a workshop day, but we get it as a comp day in my district because we have to work until 8 o'clock. There's a night in November for parent-teacher conferences. And then of course, Monday is Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, whichever you prefer to refer to it as. So I get a 4-day weekend anyway. So I am very excited. I'm hoping I get a lot of yarny plans. Yeah, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna spend that time because I can see myself being like a little squirrel and going all over and not getting very far on anything. So anyway, I digress. But anyway, maybe this weekend I can, would it be great if by the end of this weekend I can finish August colors? I think it's doable. Maybe that'll be a goal. I will just work to get, so I have 4 colors done. So that would be 8 colors. I should be able to do 8 colors in 4 days. That would be 2 colors a day. I think that is going to be my goal. So let's see. You hold me accountable. Let's see if next week when I come back, I have completed August and can move into September's colors. So, all right, so that's project number 1. Project number 2 that I am working on is my Rhythm in the Needles cowl. That is by Jess Knits Design. I have it in my project bag here from Woolen Woman Fiber. This was the August or July project bag, I think it was, right? So I am moving along, not as quickly because I've had some other things that have caught my attention this week, but that's okay. But it is still, you know, progress is progress, right? So I got, there you go. I was here last week. I got that much done. I measured it just before I started recording, and I think I'm at 5 inches. I need 8.5, so I'm over halfway. This will be my project I bring to Bible study tonight. That is probably at this point where it's going to be relegated to. It's a really easy knit to work on in that situation. So, and I think that is probably where I got all of this work done. I don't think I pulled it out other than last week when I brought it to Bible study. So if I keep working on it at that rate, I should have it done in a few weeks. So, and if it takes me a couple of weeks more, because that's the only time it gets worked on, I am okay with that. There's really no rush on this one. This is a simple brioche cowl, and the yarn that I am using is from Haute Knit Designs. I got two 50-gram minis. So there is my yarn and my labels. So Haute Knit Designs. The whitish one is Roller Rink, and the pink is Beat It. So that is that project. All right, now into some new cast-ons. The first one is well, they're both actually mystery knit-alongs that have just started. In the month of October, excuse me, Schira is doing a mystery gnome-along, and so I am doing Gnumpkin. So Clue 1 was released on Friday. Clue 2 came out yesterday, and I haven't even looked at it, but I did if you're working on it and you don't want a spoiler, then the next project I'm going to talk about is my Stephen West make-along. If you don't want a spoiler on that, then I suggest you jump ahead to the next section. All right, so this is my clue number 1. Got these two pieces. I'm pretty sure they're feet. That's my guess. That's kind of what they look like to me. I did goof, and on the bottom, one of them is brown, one of them is white, but I've decided that adds to the charm, and I did not feel like picking it out to fix it. So there we go. I am using my Jaeger spun yarn that I got from Martin's. My basket here. So I have my brown. Oh, the lighting is terrible, isn't it? It's cloudy, and so probably not as good as it could be. This is the orange. And then I am using my Knit Picks palette in Oyster for the third color. So yeah, we'll see. I'm really wanting to focus primarily on my Stephen West make-along. So if I don't move super fast on this one, I've decided I'm okay with it, but I couldn't resist. I'll make this up. It's going to be a pumpkin gnome, and I'm going to bring it to work and keep it in my office, and I think the kids are going to really enjoy it. So that is that project. All right, my last project is my West Knits make-along, and MusiKAL by Stephen West. This is, again, your spoiler alert. I am using 4 different yarns. Shall I talk about the yarn first? I'm using 4 yarns. They are all my Yarnables yarn by Hypnotic Yarns. And I have, in no particular order, because I'm going to talk a little bit about this more, but this one here, which is Macaron. Where's my Guava Cream Macaron is this color. This, and I don't have the months that these were. They're on the tags, but I don't feel like sorting through. This yellow is Straighten Your Crown. This green here, I think, is the Wings of Renewal. Pretty sure that's what that one is. And then this other green is Rest, Relax, and Recharge. I'm also using a little bit of mohair that is left over from last year's West Knits make-along. So, okay, you ready? This is your spoiler. I am working still on Clue 1, which dropped last Thursday. So Clue 2 comes out tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. And this is what I have. So it's done modularly. This is one section here. There are a total of 6 of these. So I have done 2, almost the third. And I still have 3 more. So I'm not quite halfway done. I got Bible study tonight, and I still need to edit this video. So I might be able to squeak out 1 more section before tomorrow. But I won't be caught up, and that's okay. I actually would have been further along. However, when I first started this, so Stephen did a great job of this year. What I particularly liked when he was describing the beginning of the clue and your colors, he really talked about color order and what you might want to select as your color A versus your B, your C, your D, etc. And he also reassured that we are free to change it up depending on what we want from clue to clue. So I did choose to look ahead to the end of the clue to see like the finished section so I could better decide on my placement. So color A, which is this one here, I'm using as my color A, should have been a nice contrast from all of them so that it could really frame things out. And I think, so I started with it down here, and then it's in between these rows here, and I think it really did a great job with that. Color C is this yellow, is what I'm using as the yellow. So this section here is brioche, and so it kind of peeks out, and so it should be a nice little pop. So that's kind of where I used the yellow, which is my color pop. And then that left me with colors B and D. And I could choose to hold the mohair with any of them also. We kind of had that flexibility and freedom. So I had initially started this section, and color B is what is here, where I've got my macaron, and then color D is what is in the eyelet section here. And when I knit this the first time, I reversed them, and I did color B as the welts, and color as the green as the welts, and the peach in between in the eyelet section. And it was Saturday evening. I was at my mother-in-law, so I started it right away on Thursday. But Thursday and Friday and all day Saturday were pretty busy, so I didn't get very far in the first segment. So I brought it with me when we visited with my mother-in-law, and I finished up that eyelet section, and I'm like, I don't think I like it. I didn't like the peach in between the greens for the eyelets, and I decided it would work much better as the welts. So I chose to rip it out and start over, and so basically on Saturday night, that is where my time was spent, was ripping it out and re-knitting the section. So I guess functionally speaking, effectively speaking, I've only been working on it since Saturday. I kind of lost a couple of days, but I like it much, much better. I'm much happier with it. Stephen did say that in one of the later clues, the C, which for me is the yellow in the brioche section, is gonna really be the star of the show. And I am not sure how I'm gonna feel about that, and it depends on how it stars and is a soloist, as he is putting it. So I may or may not use it, continue to use it as color C. He did say that at the end of the make-along, he is gonna give options for how to manage colors based on how much we have left. So that is kind of where that is at. But I'm really having a good time with it and enjoying it, and it will get done when it gets done. But again, I've got the whole weekend off, so I'm really hoping to kind of get a good amount of progress done on this weekend as well. On my yarn shelf, I do have two new additions. I got both of my monthly subscriptions. So I received my October Yarnables as well as my September Woolen Woman box. So let's start with Yarnables. So you know what? I forgot to pull the card up. Oh, I always forget that it doesn't come in the mail anymore with it. Hold on, stand by while I get it out here. Oh, I have too many emails. Are you guys like that too? There it is. I don't clean out my inbox fast enough. All right, if you've got it, haunt it was the theme. And the first thing are these little car coasters by Sweet Bean, which I think is awesome. I can't wait. All I could do is to keep these in here to show you, because I really think this will be fantastic to put in my car and soak up some messes. So that I'm very excited to have. The second thing is a little, it's by Infamous Cuts, and it is a stitch marker with a little bat kind of a Halloween theme going on, which Halloween admittedly is not my favorite, but... And then these little sticky notes, things I must boo sticky notes. So these will go to work with me. That'll be a good use for those. And then the yarn is really quite fun. Look at that. Some oranges and purples, a little bit of pink in there, brown. So again, if you've got it, haunt it is the name of that one. All right, that is a thing one. Thing two is my woolen yarn box. It's a vintage Halloween. So I'm gonna set the yarn aside. I'm gonna make you wait on that one again. But we have a vintage Halloween candle, pumpkin, apple, cinnamon, and vanilla. And I can tell you, it smells amazing. I have one of my candles that I've been burning over on the side there from a couple of months ago. I'm really, really enjoying. And then I have, here's the stitch markers, a little candy corn, a little ghost. I got this little Halloween tray that you could use like for stitch markers and whatever. Set it next to you on the table. This little bag, which is really, really cute, project bag. I really do kind of like, not a big Halloween person, but I do kind of like this one. The pumpkins are sweet, and the little owls. I think this one is quite fun. I can handle this one. And then the last thing is the yarn. This is absolutely gorgeous. This does not speak Halloween. This is a fantastically, actually it's more Thanksgiving in my mind, but I guess vintage if they're looking at that. So you got the kind of a gray-brown, almost a purple gray, with a mustardy yellow and this really fun mustard mini to go with it. So, and then as always, there is a sock pattern, which I need to make sure that I download to add to my sock pattern collection. In fact, I think I'm going to leave this out so I remember to do that when we are all done. So that is the latest. Plus I got my October colors from Woolen Women Fibers for my Murder She knit blanket. So I won't pull those out yet. When I work with them, I will pull them out and I will show you those colors now. But those did also arrive this week. So it has been a wonderful, wonderful mail week. All right, well, my day-to-day, it's been a busy week. Last week was really quite busy. Last Tuesday, because I recorded on Monday, so last Tuesday I spent all day in Augusta, which is our capital city, but it's also about 30 minutes north of us, and I attended an attendance summit. So there was probably 75 individuals there from all kinds of schools across the state. We were sharing ideas and ways that we work to combat chronic absenteeism and lots of resources. So that was it was a nice change of pace. Got an opportunity to get out of the building for a little bit. That night we had a meeting at our school. It was our first of 2 community meetings that we are holding as we discuss the potential of transitioning 6th grade into our middle school. And so this was a community forum to really kind of talk about this with the community and see if they had any questions or whatnot. So Wednesday was Bible study. On Thursday we had our quarterly church business meeting, so that took up Thursday. And then on Friday, I had a card class that which I still teach monthly. So I had all of those things that I kind of had going on every single night, a little something, which made it really, just kind of steady busy. On a Saturday, we didn't have any hard plans, so we really had a nice, lovely, slow morning. And then we were trying to do some more work upstairs and organizing and sorting things. And on Sunday, after church, we did some errands, we did our groceries, and then my brother and his wife and their 2 kids came over, and we had some dinner together, and we played an exit game, which we haven't done in a while. It was actually quite a hard one. It took us like an hour and a half, or hour and 45 minutes. And they were, technically you shouldn't need more than 4 people, but there was like 6 of us working on this, because granted 2 of them were kids, but still. The kids were helpful. Like, it's not like they couldn't do it. So that was fun. But it was fun. We hadn't done that in a while. And then the rest of this week has been quiet. Well, at home it's been quiet. Work has been absolutely crazy. I was so tired yesterday when I got home from work. I had my workout and I had gotten myself changed, and then I had like 15 minutes to sit down to wait, and I almost fell asleep in my rocking chair in like 15 minutes waiting to go to my workout. So it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta go. I don't want to fall asleep. I gotta go. So I yanked myself up and forced myself to move on. But yeah, it's been good. I'm really, really looking forward to this weekend. I need a nice weekend to kind of be chill. My son comes home for the long weekend from college, so it'll be nice to have him home. He'll get home on Friday. And we'll just kind of hang out and relax. And I think that's one of the best weekends of all. So I think that about covers it. So with that, I'm going to sign off. I thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please do hit the like button and subscribe. I will have links down below, as always, for everything that I've talked about, so you can follow those. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Knittin Michelle, KNITTINMICHELLE. You could also send me an email at michellesfiberstudio@gmail.com. And with that, I hope you have a fantastic week and happy knitting.